face hasn't really caught up yet. I'm not a particularly manly man. There are a few guys here who've got kind of cool stubble, and that's what I'd like, because that's the ultimate manly face, you know. It's kind of saying, well, I could grow a beard, but I can't be bothered, yeah? Because I'm too busy doing it with hot babes. But I've got this awkward thing whereby if I shave, I look 12, and if I don't, I look like a French exchange student. Very awkward to kind of straddle those two things. And a bit of a sad year, actually. My girlfriend did leave me earlier this year. Oh, it's very kind of you to say, oh, but do bear in mind, haven't told you what I did to her yet. No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So I said to my friend, I said, hey man, I totes need to meet a new GF ASAP. I did. And he said, talk properly. No, he didn't. He said, what you need to do is go to the nightclub, John, because that's where women live. And he did, and I've now been there. I know quite a lot about women, actually. They live there. And I don't know if you've noticed, it's a bit like in a wildlife documentary. Often, to kind of protect themselves, the women will sort of dance in very tightly knit, circular packs, right? And the reason is, it's very clever, The reason is that there is no dance on earth that is available to men to kind of give them access to this group of women without getting sort of spat back out again, right? So what you have to do, like in the wildlife documentaries, like a group of gazelles, and you use a counter-attack. Wow, I think that's fine now. They're like a kind of a group of gazelles, and you have to use a counter-tactic, like the lion of the plains. And slowly, surely, strategically, dance away the weakest member of the group. You kind of separate her from the rest of the herd, right? Then you dance her into a corner where you can kind of prey upon her. And kind of prey upon her, making another lion paw. Well, I mean, I'm not like picky. A lot of men have criteria for ladies. They'll say things like, oh, I like a woman with big breasts, or I like a woman with long legs. For me, as long as the legs are both long or both short, it's not a problem. It's the mishmash of long and short legs. No, that's not going to happen, right? So what you have to do when you've got your lady is you have to use dances to impress them, right? Now, I've got 3 dances, ladies and G's. But before I show them to you, it's very important that I must point out that our public liability insurance here does not cover blown minds. Right, thank you. So strap in. Dance number 1 is called the thrust, and it goes as something like this. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hang on, John. Surely that works first time, every time. No, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I have to go up to dance number 2, dudes, which is called the march, and that goes as something like this. Now I know what you're thinking now. You're thinking, hang on. That first dance changed our lives. The second dance was a bit boring, really, and we thought they would get progressively more mind-blowing. And to those critics, I say, boring, is it? Whoa! Woohoo! That's right, side to side and backwards. Now, those two haven't worked. It's very rare that those two won't work in conjunction. But if I get up to the third, obviously, a circle will have formed around me, right? Oh yeah, everyone in the nightclub will kind of be there going like this. Some people will be filming it on their iPhones to put up on YouTube. And what I'll do in that situation is I'll take that tension. I'll just slowly start to crouch. People are like, what the heck has this guy got left in his locker? We thought his locker was bare. lighting gantry, one says to the other, "Where's the dancing rulebook? It's being rewritten." And then I'll unleash it. It's the star jump. Thank you, you're very kind.
Now, another thing that's making me feel like I'm getting a bit old is I'm getting really stressed out by noisy neighbours, right? We've got real troubles with noisy neighbours, and I'll tell you what happened. It's the first time I've ever done something properly brave, right? I was in my flat Sunday night, just got back from a gig, and it was about 11 o'clock, and the noise was, you know when you can tell when it's sort of coming through a wall or through the floor, but this, it was like out in the wild. It was like coming from everywhere, right? And I was like, what the dickens is going on here? Right, I did. I nearly lost it, right? I was like, it's terrible, right? So I opened my kitchen window, right? And our window looks out onto our garden, which then backs onto the neighbour's garden, then there's their house. And I can see in their garden the remnants of a barbecue, right? Now usually, people at a barbecue would have things like burgers and sausages, but these cheeky tinkers seem to have been eating chicken drum and bass sticks. Wait for it. R&B's on toast. Yep. So I thought, I'm not blooming having it. I nearly lost it. I'm not blooming having it. But I thought, it's only 11. It's only 11s. So what I'll do is, I'll go into the other room where it's not so bad and have a bottle of rosé and a couple of whiskies, see what happens. Right. While I'm watching the film in the other room with my rosé and my whiskies, I check the Bristol City Council website guide for how to deal with noisy neighbours, right? And I can now confirm your suspicions. It does not say, have a bottle of rosé and a couple of whiskies and see what happens. It says, go around in person if you feel safe enough, you know, be calm, be confident, apologise even for interrupting their night, right? So I went back to the kitchen, and as I was opening my window, I was thinking, yeah, just turn up and be like, hey, dudes, we all like a party, don't we? But could you just turn it down? Yeah, I was. So, yeah. So as I was opening my window, right, the music went up another level, right? And I nearly lost it, right? And for some reason, I grabbed the empty bottle of rosé and chuck it out the window, and it smashes in their garden, right? And then part of me thinks, hooray! And another part of me thinks, hide! Right? And it strikes me, what a bizarre thing to do. To deal with broken Britain by chucking a bottle at it, right? Albeit a bottle of rosé, which is kind of the best middle-class crime in the world, isn't it? I mean, what's next? Artichokes down the chimney, hummus to the letterbox. And I was thinking, this is silly, right? I've got to sort this. So I go out of my house. I go round onto their street. And when I'm on their street, I realise it is not that house. I've just thrown a bottle of rosé into an innocent party's garden. It is the house opposite them. Now that's 2 streets away. The sight that meets my eyes, you wouldn't believe. There were young lads and lassies in the streets drinking tins of beer, they were. And smoking jazz cigarettes like there was no tomorrow. I thought, they've got the bay windows, right, on the first floor. We haven't got bloody bay windows. They've got the windows open, big PA speakers pointing out of the windows onto the streets, right? And it just makes me so angry enough to do something silly, right? And I think, I'm going to clean up the streets. And at that moment, I see the door opening into the house. And I'm thinking, ooh, you've come this far. So I go into the house. I've not been invited, not on Facebook, anything. And I go up the stairs, and I'm kind of, no one minds that I'm there because they're all bombing it. I go into the main room, where it's all kicking off, right? And 2 big PA speakers, about 60 people, all kind of, well, they weren't doing this, doing whatever it is you do to drum and bass music. And decks in the middle. And now I think, there's clearly no way I'm going to find out who's in charge and ask them to turn it down. And at that moment, I see the four-way adapter connecting the decks and the speakers to the plug. Right. And I think, 6 more yards. And I walk through these people, I grab the plug, pull it out of the wall, and immediately the music stops. And all the adrenaline drains out from my body. And I realise I'm stood in a room full of people with eyes that are essentially saying, W.T. Bark. A guy fronts up to me and says, "What the heck do you think you're doing, sunshine?" Or words to that effect. Now when I get angry, I don't get grrr angry, I get shrill like a lady. So he says, "What the heck do you think you're doing, sunshine?" And I say, "I don't live next door! No! I live 2 streets away!" See, my tone is also Michael McIntyre when I get angry. At that moment, he replies, "Chill out, mate. We've just finished our finals today. It's just a party." At this point, I say something I have not planned on saying. Right. Looking dead in the eyes, and I say, "Oh, this is not a party. This is a brick factory. And you, sir, are the CEO. I don't know if you've ever accused anyone of being the chief executive officer of a brick factory. They don't take kindly to it, right? He heard the key word and said, "Don't you call me a prick." I actually had to back away from an angry mob going, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, there's been some confusion. Did not call you a prick. I called you the CEO of a brick factory." Eventually it all calmed down when the girl who owns the house came upstairs to turn the music down. But then I found out her name was India, which made me hate her even more. Not in a racist way, just because it's a silly name. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been absolutely